A radiant and kickstart Wednesday to each one of you. I hope you all are enjoying the lovely weather and soaking in the calming breeze. Let's make it more powerful and motivational with today's session. I, Mahima Sindhi, on behalf of the entire MMTU family, extend a hearty welcome to each one of you to our series of live sessions where we bring expert professionals and celebrated artists on board to share their pearls of wisdom and their juices of life experiences to learn from. In the words of Lao Tzu, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. They say a mind that is stretched by new dimensions and experiences can never go back to its old dimensions. On the same note, let us hear an inspiring tale on exploring India and virtually taste the fruits of life voyage of none other than a famous YouTuber and travel blogger, Mr. Harish Bali. We will have Sir on screen after a short break.
पापा ये थोड़ा मेरी तरफ से।
ओ बेटा बाप को पैसे दे रहा है।
अरे नहीं पापा, इट्स जस्ट अ थैंक्स।
किस बात का?
वो आपने कहा था ना, कहाँ पढ़ना है वो फैसला बड़ा होता है। जिंदगी के 4 साल का सवाल नहीं, सवाल पूरी जिंदगी का है।
Maharishi Markandeshwar deems to be University, Maulana Ambala, preparing you for the real world.
पापा ये थोड़ा मेरी तरफ से।
ओ बेटा बाप को पैसे दे रहा है।
अरे नहीं पापा, इट्स जस्ट अ थैंक्स।
किस बात का?
वो आपने कहा था ना, कहाँ पढ़ना है वो फैसला बड़ा होता है। जिंदगी के 4 साल का सवाल नहीं, सवाल पूरी जिंदगी का है।
Maharishi Markandeshwar deems to be University, Maulana Ambala, preparing you for the real world.
May I request the backend team to add Sir, please?
Hello.
Hello, hi Sir, warm greetings. How are you?
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Warm greetings, sir. So let me take this opportunity to formally introduce Sir. Mr. Harish Bali, a famous YouTuber, travel blogger, and influencer, and a true explorer by heart, has been traveling across India since the year 2017 and has been giving us insights into the geography, history, landscapes, culture, language, festivals, customs, and traditions of different people at varied regions and their way of living and being. With a basket of 18 plus years in sales, Mr. Bali started his career with Hindustan Unilever in the year 2001, post which he worked in the telecom sector with Airtel at the Mumbai office for approximately 8 years, switched to Vodafone and tried his hands in digital media as a startup idea but did not gain much success. And that's when the explorer in him picked up what he had always been enjoying doing. Fond of traveling and exploring new places ever since, Sir gradually started posting videos of the exotic places he had visited on YouTube. His zeal and passion to explore new destinations gave birth to an idea for a startup venture, and that's how the YouTube channel named Visa to Explore took shape with skyrocketing numbers of 1.5 million subscribers as of today. Sir Harsh happens to have traveled across 24 states and in the northeast to downtown south. His motto in life is very simple: when there is so much beauty in India, why go abroad? So let us discover some insights of his inspiring journey. Sir, I have a couple of questions that I've received from the audience. So I'll be asking you those questions, and via that we'll get to know you more and more about blogging as a whole. So the first question that I have for you, sir, is: so the title of travel blogger, it is a very happy job title. Most of the millennials today have kind of fallen into. So also the world of blogging is a little bit crazy. What do you think about this? And how was your journey basically from being into corporate to then into a startup to now being an influencer full time? What really inspired you?
Actually, these are 4 to 5 questions mixed together, but I'll try attempting answering to each of these questions.
Right,
So,
sir.
सबसे पहले let's make a beginning with journey of a travel blogger and how's the scenario going to be 5 years, 10 years down the line. What do I foresee? तो देखिए अभी it has just started. So when I say it has just started, that means कि 5-8 years पहले इंडिया में there was nothing as travel vlogging. Though there were vlogs, but travel vlogging कुछ भी नहीं था. It has just started और अभी there are so many people joining in. Um, I do not know the exact numbers, but um, I every day I keep on hearing through YouTube that more new and new YouTube channels are getting opened.
Correct.
So people are trying their hands. Now thing is कि जो पहले we need to also understand कि TV में show आते थे travel shows. So how are those shows different from the travel show on YouTube? Because this is on demand. So when you are watching it on TV, it's not on demand. So there's a specific time when that show will come. Yeah, they will show a repeat telecast. But YouTube is like as per your convenience. So I see a lot of market, which means कि at least जितने भी लोग ज्वाइन करते रहेंगे इस इंडस्ट्री को, तो ये आने वाले 10 साल 15 साल तक तो बहुत बूम करेगी.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true, sir. And sir, how has your journey been? I mean, being into private sector, 18 plus years of experience, then getting into a startup and then into travel blogging. So how was your ride basically? Was it bumpy? Was it smooth? Was it a
No,
mix
it
and
was
match of both? How was it?
no, it was not a mix and match. First 3 years were very, very difficult, especially because I हमारे background में कोई भी person नहीं था, मतलब in my family or my friend circle who had any knowledge about what is travel blogging, how should you do it. So it was like do mistakes and then you learn from those mistakes.
Correct. Right,
So first 3 years were like that only, and second thing was it also to a great extent depends upon when do you start a startup. For example, when I started, I was 42-year-old. But think of someone who is starting at a 19 or 20. He has got some time to do some experiments, some time for failures. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was a different case. But yes, now since last 1.5, 2 years, in fact, I should say 2 years, we have been able to achieve our break even. So we are able to meet our costs. So that in a way indicates that I'm happy.
Definitely. And your smile actually proves the point, doubling the effect of it, that you actually are happy. And traveling is something that runs in your veins. And I could hear noises around. So we surely know that you love traveling here and there. And that's how you love to explore new places. So, coming up to the next question, sir, you started your YouTube channel back in 2017, as we all know. So, how did you decide to become a travel blogger? Was it a thoughtful choice behind setting up or the shooting star?
Actually, I will not say it was a thoughtful choice, to be very frank with you. But yes, when I started this, in fact, I'll tell you, I started a YouTube channel by the name Technofair. Before that, I did some work on basically I did some blogging, which is the written website where we were writing articles on use of technology in day-to-day life. But I never realized that my passion was actually in travel and exploring food. I knew that I enjoyed doing that, but that degree of how much you enjoy was not known. So maybe I thought I enjoy traveling, but I never realized that the gap was so much that if I realized I understood and the tech was, let's say, here, then at some level, and travel thing, I was so much passionate about traveling, it was 5x or maybe 10x. So that is when I started. I realized, oh, that was a hidden something I never felt in my life, that I loved it so much. So then slowly and gradually we started. Initially we were shooting with mobile phone, then we bought a microphone, then we bought a camera. Then during the whole process we realized that if we were doing, we did a couple of videos of Delhi, 5 to 6 videos. Then we quickly realized that if we continue to do the Delhi videos on food and travel, so our audience will be regional. So that is when we expanded and starting traveling outside Delhi. So that's how I did this travel of 24 states over last 5.5 years also.
I think that is definitely amazing, sir. And I think there is one learning that I get out of it. If you have a passion about something, so don't just keep on checking on the scale. You don't have a parameter as to how passionate you are about something. If you love something, surely try your hands out of it. Only then will you get to know how much do you love the thing.
Yeah,
Otherwise, we will never know whether we've reached a parameter or no, like you said.
That's so true.
Definitely. So moving on to the next question, sir. So how do you find your work basically? So does it come to you or do you seek it out? Any specific hotels or restaurants or resorts or tourist agencies that approach you for tie-ups? Or do you just go out and wander yourself? So how does it go basically when it comes to blogging?
Actually, I don't do any kind of a collaboration.
Okay.
So I have just done it once in last 5.5 years, and that experience was not so good. So
All
I
right.
consciously decided that I will not do collaboration, and I will
Okay.
continue doing it on my own, which in a way
Okay.
means that there is no influence of anyone on my work. In a way,
Right.
you can say that.
Definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Which is
So,
very
so how I do things is, for example, now I wanted to travel to. I'm not talking the recent travel. I wanted to travel to Jibbi and Tirthan Valley. That's in Himachal Pradesh. So I
okay.
made my complete plan that 1 day here, 2 days here, 3 days here. Then the place I'm going to stay, the food that I'm going to eat was all decided by me.
Okay.
So there's no influence coming from anyone. Now, yes, at the same time, if a new YouTuber asks me that should I do collaboration with brand
Correct. That was
or I
supposed to
should
be the
not
question.
do, my answer is
Correct.
always you should do.
You
Now,
should do.
but yeah, when I tells people that you should do, but why is it that I don't do collaboration? So the only reason is that um, I'm a bit choosy on the way I want to show things to my audience. For example, brands
Right.
these days have high expectations. They would want that you should start your program with promotion. For
Correct. Correct.
example, this is the X cream. Then you start
Hmm.
your video after 1 minute.
Right.
That first you talk about the cream. So
Right.
that's one. Second thing is, in our case, there's some gap between shooting and publishing because
Okay.
I'm not always traveling. So brands have high expectations. They want that if you shoot today, you should publish within 3 to 5 days. And
Okay.
that's what exactly most YouTubers are also doing. People are publishing 5 videos in a week. Some people are doing 3 in a week. But I think I'm one of the few YouTubers who publishes only 1 video in a week. So for us, it's
Okay.
like a Ramayana kind of a program, which will come only once in a week.
And I'm sure the audience has to wait for it to basically
Yeah,
see
there
it.
are
It's like
people. Yeah,
getting the
because
curiosity.
people do wait for it. That's what I can capture because last 5 years we are never defaulted even once on this time. For example, every Sunday 9 a.m. is the time, so it's not even 9:05. So 9
That is
a.m. sharp,
amazing.
the video will come. Yeah,
I think this is the consistency, and I think this is your real deal about it, and that is why you don't love collaborations. You prefer
yeah,
doing it all by yourself, and I think that's a
yeah,
great thing for sure. And
yeah.
I mean, I can correlate it to a a very famous, let's say, a binge watching series that I've been hooked up to. So if there is an episode, and if I get to know now the next episode comes after a week, I will keep myself updated that next day after that particular week, that particular day, that particular time, my first thing would be to log in and get to see the episode.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
one, and yeah, that's one way of looking at it. Second way of looking at it is there are people who will not watch it every Sunday. They will
right,
wait for the series to get over.
right,
So if
right.
today I am
There are that
publishing
kind as
Arunachal, they are watching my series which came just before that. Then they don't have to wait. Na? It's already live
well.
on
Yeah,
YouTube.
correct. So yeah, either way. So it's again like you said, being a blogger, it's about you studying your audience, you studying your market, you studying your viewership. If you have a good hang of who is basically glued to your screen, I think we can always do a mix and match and twitch things around. Very right.
Absolutely, you're
Very right.
right.
So moving on to the next question, sir. What happens if you get paid to blog about something but you hate it? So do you still post honest opinions about it, or do you do a tricky escape about it? And also a suggestion for
Actually,
other bloggers.
answer to this question lies in what I just said. So since I
Right.
don't do collaboration, so the answer is there's no point of payment. So
But then sir,
I don't take
correct.
payment from anyone. I don't pay to anyone for my work.
So it's your honest opinion that you always
So
showcase.
that's what audience like. In our case, that's what audience likes the
Correct.
most. So if I
Correct.
go somewhere and I find that while I have done the shooting, but something that I've experienced was grossly bad. So then what I will do, I will not post bad comments about the place or the food. I will completely cut that piece from my video.
Right. So you will not tell anything about that particular part.
Chapter close.
Correct. Exactly. It's like why defame something? Probably they might rise in another
Why
5 years.
should
So why defame
yeah?
them and put it on YouTube?
Why should I defame anyone? Plus, why should I
Exactly.
bring a bad word to someone's business?
Exactly. And the word of mouth travels big time, especially
Yeah,
from influencers like you. So if we see
yeah.
that
So
you've said and
it's better
blacklisted.
to better to ignore. Yeah,
Exactly. So if, for example, I see a video of yours and I see you blacklisted a place, even if I wish to go, I will not go because I know sir has said that it's not a good place. So instead, no, it's like
completely
cutting it
ignore
off.
it. Completely
Right.
ignore it. Yeah.
And sir, but what is this one suggestion you'd like to give to people who are new into the market? So the millennials today, like you were talking about a 19 age old guy or a 15-year-old who's into blogging now, and they get paid. So how do they go about it if the place is not really worth it, but they've taken money from that particular organization?
One should reframe. One should not do that for money, first of all, because
Right.
then you can't survive with your channel for a longer period of time. Someday it will lose audience.
Correct. Correct.
And second thing is, before you commit someone, it's a good idea to go and validate it yourself. For example, if you are covering a restaurant, it's a good idea to first visit a restaurant, eat the food yourself,
Right.
understand, and when you go there, don't go as a guest. Visit that place as an audience, as someone, just a walk-in customer.
Don't let them know that you are somebody special who's to be treated special. Correct.
Naturally, no? You just go there, have food, pay the bill, and then when you come back, then you decide whether you want to go for it, or you want to avoid it.
Correct. I think
That's
that's great.
though this is a longer route, but point is, there are no shortcuts to success. One has to.
Definitely, definitely. And like we were talking about being resilient and consistent in the field, if you want to stay in the market, I think that's the knack, because otherwise I've seen people come and go. So they start up with something which is like in a full bloom, but after 2 months, 3 months, or probably a year down the line, we see that they are nowhere to be seen because they lose audience. So
Yeah,
like we
true.
always talk about it, starting a business is something which is not difficult, but staying and maintaining your brand value is something that is very, very tough. And I think that's a great suggestion that you've given out there.
Especially, if your objective is that you want to make this kind of thing as a full-time career.
Correct.
So such things are important, especially if you are looking at this thing as a full-time career.
Definitely, sir. Definitely. So moving on to the next question, since we're talking about exploring places. So what's your favorite place you visited thus far, and how do you basically afford to travel? Can you give a practical day-to-day example of your costs involved to our audience for them to know how is blogging really about the real-time experience?
Yeah. Again, three questions clubbed into one, but I'll try answering each one of these. First of all, favorite place, there's no one. There are many, but still, if the question I have to revise it as, if what is that one place where you want to go again? Suppose
Could
if I
be.
have to
Correct.
rephrase
Correct.
it like that, my answer
Correct.
will be North Sikkim.
Okay.
So there's
And
no
why would
place like,
that be, sir?
I have not traveled to Kashmir, so I am excluding Kashmir for the sake of, just because I have not been there. But no,
Right.
North Sikkim is so beautiful that you would want to go there for a couple of reasons. Organic state, it's a no plastic, it's a plastic free state, and people are like humble. Like you visit Spiti, you visit Nagaland, people are so humble in North Sikkim. So that's one state. Second, how do I afford travel? I just mentioned some time back that I've achieved break even, so
Right.
which means I'm able to meet my cost.
Right.
Other thing, like many travel bloggers, they're always on the go. You will find them, they have moved out of their house and they are traveling since 6 months. So I don't
Right.
work like that. I travel for 15 days, make about 10 episodes, publish those episodes on a weekly basis, and then I will have some time at my home when I can take care of my health. I can spend
Yeah.
time with
Correct.
my family, and when I know only 3 episodes or 4 episodes are left, which means it sufficient to take care of 3 to 4 weeks, then I'll make a second tour plan.
Okay. And
So
that's how
that's
you keep a plan and a balance between your profession
oh,
and your personal life as well.
yeah. And of course, at the same time, since I'm doing this on a full-time basis, I also need to keep a check on the liquidity. Yeah,
Correct.
you understand, na?
Definitely,
Otherwise, because
definitely.
the way I travel involves a lot of cost. Normally,
Correct.
YouTubers, they don't travel with such high costs.
Hmm. So,
Yeah.
sir, can you just, give us an
Daily
insight in
cost you
terms of the
wanted to.
costs involved? Yeah.
Yeah, just coming on to that. Look, daily cost is actually a function of how do you travel. So
Okay.
whatever I may say may not be even relatable to anyone. For
Okay.
example, I travel only in Innova Cresta.
Okay.
So why? Because we have sufficient luggage. We have lot of luggage, so no other vehicle can fit unless I decide to travel on a truck. So that's a different thing.
Okay.
So, so that's one thing. How do I travel? So Innova Cresta, if you hire for a day, it is not going to cost you less than 6,000 rupees.
Definitely
Now,
correct.
some places it can cost 5,500, but largely 6,000
Hmm.
per day. So that's one big cost. Second thing is, no, usually the stay accommodation that we take is some tariff between 2,500 to 3,500. So we are 4 people traveling, including the cab driver. So I always ensure that we should have a room booked for the cab driver as well. Normally,
Which is a very,
normally people
normally
don't think,
do.
nobody thinks like that, but I think like that because myself, my camera person, drone operator, and the 4th guy is the cab driver. So we kind of work as a crew. So we will keep 2 rooms. So that's again about 6,000 rupees for 2 rooms. Then obviously meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner is all on actuals. And then obviously immediately after this, you have to pay for the services of drone operator. You have to pay for the services of camera person. And my editing team, we have 2 full-time members who do the edit work. So they are with me since last 5 years. Yeah.
Right. So that's how the cost keeps on
Plus couple of
accumulating.
other things. So many times, we have to arrange folk dances. So there are no free lunches in the world. So one has to organize.
Definitely.
Many times people ask me this question that wherever you go, you see people are dancing and you immediately take your camera and you do the shooting. So it doesn't happen that way. You have to organize.
Exactly. That's not the reality, right? I mean, it looks the way it is, and this is I mean the real difference between the real world versus the real world. What you see, you don't basically know the whole process involved around that. I mean, behind that. So what we see is a YouTube video of 30 minutes, but probably it's a work of 30 days, and that's how the 30
you are
minutes.
bang on because before I travel, I start doing my research work, talking to people, fixing things. So the whole lot of effort.
Definitely. And I think a lot of cushion that you need to keep in terms of the exigencies that arise on the spot. Probably a booking got cancelled or something that didn't work out or a weather condition.
Absolutely.
Right.
There has to be plan B for many things.
Definitely. And I think I'm getting excited hearing you, but then I'm sure there's a lot of, losing on to your pocket when it comes to blogging big time, and that too in a real professional kind like you are doing for sure. But I think great work there, sir. So moving on to the next question, since we're talking about traveling and you already mentioned about balancing your personal and professional life. So do you ever feel burnt out by constant traveling? If yes, then how do you deal with it? Let's say you had planned a 15-day trip, but it got stretched to 30 days or 40 days. So how do you cope with that part?
First of all, my 15 days tour will never get stretched to 40 days.
Okay.
So if that happens, that means that my planning was grossly incorrect.
Correct.
It's like saying that I start my journey thinking that I'm going to do Haryana, and then suddenly I'm in the midst of the journey, I decide, okay, let's go to Jammu also, let's go to Kashmir also. So that means that there is something grossly incorrect in my plan. So yes, but at times when I plan for 14 days, it gets stretched to 18 days.
Okay.
3 days, 4 days plus minus can happen. Not minus, plus can only happen. Now coming to the plan, how do I handle stress? Because many people who watch our videos continuously, they watch it regularly. They say that after 4 episodes, somewhere fatigue comes up.
Okay.
And because at the end of the day, if let's say I'm ending the day at 10 p.m., I'm saying in the video that okay, it's 10 p.m. now, I'm in the hotel, and like bye bye, see you tomorrow types. So that is the time when my backend work starts at the hotel, which means copying all the data that we have shot on a hard drive, then looking through files, whether the audio was as issue, video quality was, and how was the lighting throughout the day. So that's a 2-hour process. So people generally ask me so many times that when you, like in the previous episode, you mentioned that you ended your day at 10, then why are you starting at 9? You should have started the day at 6 a.m. But now point is, it's very difficult to explain that I slept only at 12:30.
Exactly. And that minimum sleep is required because you were doing your homework post the shooting this time.
Plus sometimes in the night, sometimes early morning, I have to get up. So plus the complete day, there is no free time to relax. So moment I am up, that means I'm traveling.
Right. And I think that basically explains how you kind of try to balance. And I think you've been somebody
now
who's
still the question question is not completely answered because you are right, needs to balance. So what I'm just thinking of since last few weeks is maybe I should take a break of half day after every 4 days. That is where the solution, because taking a break, trying to end the day early may not really work. So solution lies in taking a half day break after every 3 or 4 days. So on a tour of 15 days, 4 breaks, half day, every 4 days.
Right. And I think that would work because even if, for people like you and me who are zealous about their work, We would do our 100%, but then the body, our face starts reflecting that we're getting tired. You do whatsoever, it will come on your face, come what may. And since your audience, I mean, people who've been glued with you since years, they for sure know that now Mr. Harsh is tired, but he's still trying to manage and cope up and show us as much as possible. So definitely, that breaks are required. That self-care day and that self-care little break is definitely needed. So
For
I think
nothing
a
else,
great
but just to sleep on time.
definitely, definitely. The glow has to come back for sure, and that will come after a great sleep. So, moving on to the next question, sir. Blogging to make money attracts a lot of youngsters these days. So, what's your advice to those people? According to you, what are those top mistakes to avoid when they choose blogging as a medium to make money?
Look, first thing is when you say youngsters, so a 15-year-old child can also be a youngster, and a 22-year-old college-going student or just a college pass out can also be a youngster.
Right. Right.
One has to decide that one should have a minimum education degree in hand before one explores this. So it's not
Okay.
that you finish off with your 12th and you decide, okay, now my college education I will do on a part-time basis, and this thing I'm going to do on a full-time basis. So this is first, education first.
Right. Yeah.
Second thing is ki vlogging is good, but you need to decide upon your niche.
Yeah.
So many times people get carried away thinking that this guy is a travel vlogger and I would also love to travel and explore. But heart in heart, you may feel for yourself that I don't love traveling as much as I love, let's say, playing guitar.
Definitely. Yeah.
Or someone may be exceptionally good in cooking, while this guy saw someone making tech videos and doing very well. Okay, let me also do tech.
Yeah.
So
वो
one
भेड़
has to
चाल में बहुत चलने की आदत है लोगों को. Very
so
true.
one should identify his own personal strengths and work upon those strengths.
Yeah,
So
correct.
obviously cooking and there are opportunities, playing guitar ke andar opportunities, and you can take lessons. Then through that you can generate leads and maybe online try and teach guitar. So there are opportunities everywhere.
Definitely. It's on you how to basically see which door is open and then probably just open the door and get
So,
into it
so
for
that's
sure.
about identifying your strength, your area of interest. And second thing, obviously, that comes in hand is when you make a video and you publish it. So whatever the comments that you get are post-mortem. You have already published it. Now you can't undo it. Only thing that you can do is you can delete it. You can't undo
Yeah,
means you can't edit it. So it's
definitely.
always a good advice to talk to few neutral people, show them your video. If they feel this is good, you publish it. If they say that no,
Not good.
you are repeating the same thing again and again, audience is getting bored. So maybe you do shoot it again, edit it again.
Right.
So one has
I think,
to
yeah, that's a great way.
explore.
Instead of getting negative criticism and then feeling low and then getting it difficult for you to come back to it, it's
No,
better to basically
more than
go
what
and
you are feeling, you may feel low, but point is what is important is how's the audience feeling about you, because people these days may not give you a second chance.
Very true. Very true. And I think that is the key. So I think people usually face tough time handling bad criticism and online ragging that happens. And sometimes it goes on to an extent that probably there's no control. So like you said, having a neutral audience beforehand, while much
Obviously,
before you have to really post it
before you publish
online.
a video, get it audited through your friends. Maybe
Correct.
that's how you can go about.
Correct. And somebody who's neutral. I mean, friends and family would always want to say a no, but then just because they don't want to break your heart, they will say, "Theek hai, chal jayega," So that bit. So having a neutral bit. And I think, like you said, I was actually attending a workshop, a mastery workshop yesterday. So in that particular thing, we were talking about career. So that the guy he's a CEO of a big brand. So he was also talking about the same thing. कि लोग कहते हैं हमें पता है हमने करियर में क्या करना है, जैसे आपने बोला लोगों को लगता है हमें पता है हमें ट्रैवल ब्लॉगर बनना है, लेकिन जब तक आपने उस मिठाई को चख के नहीं देखा आप कैसे कह सकते हो कि आपको वो पसंद है, पहले खा के तो देखो, ट्राई
No,
करके
no,
तो देखो.
I completely agree.
Definitely. So moving on to the next question, sir. If you were to list top 5 reasons for your success as a travel blogger, so what would those be?
I think consistency is one.
Right.
Like I mentioned, every Sunday 9 a.m. Second thing is I listen a lot to my audience. For example, if I am shooting something and let's say there are few subscribers who come up immediately on the spot, and the person that I would like to talk the first if I have to decide, is the one who is giving me feedback.
Right.
So I check all my emails personally. I check all my LinkedIn comments personally. Earlier I was checking all YouTube comments also, but now that's not possible, looking at the volume. But yes, the comments that talk about feedback, how do I improve? Those are the ones that catch my attention first. So where I'm coming from: A, consistency; B, listen to your audience, make changes; third, continuously work on uh, enhancing the quality of your video.
Right.
Now, quality is a very, very broad term. A good microphone can also be a quality. For example, I'm using this Apple
Yeah.
earphone. So, slight difference here and there. Cost may not be that much, but at least test your gadgets.
Right.
Um, uh, and other thing is, um, at the end of the day, after watching your content for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, if there should be some takeaway for the audience. Now
Very
that
true.
takeaway can be, I was sad but now I'm happy, then I had less knowledge about on a subject but now I have sufficient knowledge on a subject. For example,
Yeah.
somebody telecasting news, so there should be some takeaway. Now that some, again, depends upon what's the area you are
Working
working
into
on.
the niche. Correct. Yeah. I think those are some great advices that you've given, and that is something that is the need of the hour. People do I mean start in a bang like how, but then after a while they just lose on to it. So I think not losing on to it is something which is very important. With consistency and the tips that you give, I think you can always stay in the market and have
Yeah,
that name and fame and enjoy and yet stay grounded at the same time.
yeah.
So which is very important. I mean, I was in the other I mean a previous session to this, I was talking to again a very famous personality. So we were talking about that only, that having fame is something that everybody thrives for. I mean, they literally want to have that, and that need to have that name and fame is something that doesn't really go till the end. But then handling that stardom is something which is not an easy task. Some people go mad and crazy about that stardom, and then they crash down on the ground. So staying grounded is very, very important. And you seem to be a very humble personality in that matter. So 1.5 million, followers on YouTube, and just look at the smile with the simplicity and the serene way you are telling everything. It seems so
I
nice.
mean, actually, there's something. If you really ask me, what is it when I'm traveling that I generally, I do not miss. Then that thing is meetup.
Yeah.
So I do not know about other YouTubers, but what I gather is that many YouTubers, they don't do regular meetups. Only thing, Delhi meetup I have not done since last 2 years because of COVID environment and couple of other things. But wherever I go, for example, just went to Tirthan Valley. I did two meetups in Chandigarh, one while going, one while coming. So
Lovely.
just because I love to talk to people, and my favorite
Yeah.
question all the time to the people who come to meet me is, how do we improve on our work?
Correct. And I think
So
that is something
you never know. You ask the same question to 50 people, and maybe one person will answer something that completely,
that
you
would
never
really hit and
thought
would
in
be that
this.
light bulb moment.
So it's
Correct. And
always
it will
better
keep
to
the channel going.
keep on asking. You may get some good insights.
Definitely, sir. Definitely. So moving on to the next question. You've been a full time independent travel blogger for years now. So, what are your suggestions to the newbies who are looking at building a career in travel blogging? Can they always make money out of it, or is it sometimes just for the sake of followers and there is no money making? I mean, sometimes they do have a lot of followers, some inorganic as well. I've seen Instagram pages message and then tell, if you want to gain, let's say, 20,000 followers, do this, and people do it. So that is all inorganic, right? Having organic followers is something which is a real task. But then, how is it an ensured thing that they'll make money out of it if they have an XYZ number of subscribers or followers? Or how do you, I mean, suggest on that bit?
First of all, you must have heard people talking towards the end of the video: like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah.
Follow our channels. Click on the red
Hmm.
button. Click on that bell icon so you get
Correct.
notification and whatnot on earth.
Hmm.
Point is, there is no money on like, share, and subscribe.
Okay.
So even if you may have 1 CR followers, but your viewership is low, then
Hmm.
obviously you are not going to make anything.
Right.
So bottom line, what is important is viewership and audience retention. Now
Correct.
think of a news channel delivering a talk
Hmm.
on what's happening between Ukraine, US, and all that, Russia.
Hmm.
Now this guy is repeating the same thing again and again, again and again. So after 2 minutes, you will switch to another channel.
Very
Now,
true.
videography may be excellent, audio may be coming up very well, but the content itself is a problem. So there's a lot
Right.
of repetition happening. So I may not come back to the same channel again. So what does that
Very
mean? The advertiser may not invest on our work.
correct. Correct.
So it's all about audience retention. For
Very
example,
true.
if you see Kapil Sharma show, the one that comes on a weekly basis, so that carries a lot of audience retention. So I have
Yes.
seen people saying that, okay, let's have dinner after Kapil Sharma, or maybe have dinner before Kapil Sharma, because then that's the time you don't want to feel distracted. You
Very,
just want
very
to
true.
have good time,
Some good
laughing
gala
on
time with
whatever
the
he's
family.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kul milake, it's all about audience retention.
I think that's again a great piece of advice there, sir. So, sir, one more question. Can you please share one bad experience you've had from your journey so far as a blogger, which became a life lesson for you? And if you can spill that bean to everybody out there who's listening.
Actually, there are many, not only one, there are many bad experiences that have happened, but I have not highlighted those bad experiences on the video. Sometimes I have done, but with a lot of sugar coating, because I don't want to publicly talk about things which were, because now, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, लाइफ लेसन तो बहुत बड़ा सब्जेक्ट हो जाएगा, लेकिन समथिंग स्मॉलर. अब जैसे हमने उत्तराखंड के लिए भी हायर्ड अ कैब फ्रॉम लखनऊ, फ्रॉम हरिद्वार. सो वी वेंट देयर फॉर 30 days ऑन उत्तराखंड चार धाम यात्रा. तो वहां पर द कैब ड्राइवर हैड दिस हैबिट ऑफ ड्रिंकिंग डेली. सो हम
Okay.
लोग एक मैरिज में गए उसके साथ. तो मैरिज में जाने के बाद दिस गाय स्टार्टेड ड्रिंकिंग अल्कोहल. और उसके बाद बाय द टाइम 11 वी डिडंट रियलाइज दैट 11:30 वी वर अबाउट टू स्टार्ट फॉर आवर होम स्टे एंड वी रियलाइज दिस गाय इज लाइक, वो गिर गया जमीन पे. तो हम लोग उसको उठा उठा के लेकर आए. फिर वी टुक हिम, आई ड्रोव द व्हीकल टू द होम स्टे. और वो मतलब इट ऑल कंटिन्यूड टिल 2:30 3 in the night. He was not even entering the room. तो
Correct.
रात को 2:30, then 11 o'clock I called up the agency. Agency was not willing to talk to me. He said we are over busy. You handle and you compromise whichever way you feel right. So that was like gave an insight that if you are hiring a cab, we should ask this question as part of our interview process. Do you drink? You don't drink. Do you smoke? You don't smoke.
Exactly. And yeah, I
So
mean, this is like having a checks and balances right in place before something bad happens. I mean, let's say it
normally
was
nobody will, tourists when they travel, they will never ask this question to a cab driver,
correct.
because they will assume that it's okay. But point is,
Yeah.
that's how we got this lesson. Similarly, there are many things that we
Right.
understand, then we implement those things.
Definitely. And I think life
Then
is about
after 5.5 years of experience, also we make a lot of mistakes.
definitely, and I think life is about experiences, sir. And every person who walks in a life is a walking experience. Sometimes it is something that you experience on your own. Sometimes it's the experience of others that you definitely get to know. So since you mentioned this as a part of your bad experience, I think whenever I am going to travel next time all by myself or probably with my friends, I will ensure that I ask this question, even if it's a family driver, because I have to ensure my safety. And per se, you were very strong enough to drive that vehicle and reach the homestay and still handle him till 2:30 at night. There
Nobody
might
else
be
will.
places, yeah, there might be places, probably it's a hilly area, and I do not know how to travel in hills, how to drive in hills. It can be something very tacky and dangerous on that part. So I think that's a great lesson for sure. So moving on to the last question, sir, since the time doesn't allow. So what are your future plans? How do you plan to leverage your existing success as a blogger?
We are looking at building a website. We are working in this direction since last couple of months slash couple of years, I will say. And
Right.
we got in touch with few website developers who didn't take our work seriously.
Okay.
There were some load time issues, because of which I had to scrap the whole project. So that's anyways the next thing I want to do. I want to work on a website where we will build itineraries. And if I have to just say, there are so many itineraries. For example, one day in Chandigarh, 2 nights and 3 days in Chandigarh,
Yeah.
3 nights and 4 days in Chandigarh. So within a city there are many itineraries, many things that many,
Definitely.
yeah. So that's what we are looking at doing. But again, this is a very long term kind of a thing.
But I think kudos there, sir. You already have a plan, and you are somebody who has a plan A, B, C all lined up in place. So for sure, success may follow all your dreams. So I must admit, sir, that your life journey and your successful achievements in career speaks volumes about your work. We've
Thank you
all
so
had
much.
plenty of takeaways and actionables to take home. Wishing you huge success, love, and luck your way. Thank you so much, sir, for joining in. It was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Nice interaction. Thanks a
Thank you
lot.
so much, sir.
Bye bye.
Looking forward to more such sessions. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye. Bye.